Alright guys, and welcome back to S.G.L.O, the video series you didn't even remember existed, because it's not that important. But every video series needs a snappy title. S.G.L.O, sort my gaming life out. The M is silent because of reasons, okay? Anyway, this is basically my attempt to kick myself up the gaming arse and to go back and finally finish a load of games that I've been neglecting. I'm sure we all do this. You will start a game, play a couple of levels and then forget about it, get distracted by something else and don't go back to it. A lot of modern games have very complex control systems, stories, save points, upgrades and all the rest of it. It's easy to get lost in where you are and just too much effort to go back. So this video series is my attempt to stop that terrible habit of starting games and not finishing them. So the next game that I have finally just finished today, and it is Batman Arkham City. Now this is only the third video in this series and I started it in May, I think it was. So it's not been too prolific, but I finally finished another game, Arkham City, and yeah, really enjoyed that game, really cool. What can be said about it that you don't already know? Well, there will be some spoilers in this video, so if you haven't actually played through it yet, probably not the best video for you to watch, but it's a few years old now, so I'm sure a lot of people have played it. Really fun. The combat in this game is awesome. You really feel actually skillful when you're taking on large groups of enemies, and that's something that a lot of games don't quite manage to get. This is the best game I've ever played in terms of a feeling of skillfully taking on large groups of enemies. I've never played the Onimusha games. I don't know exactly how that goes. That seems like hack and slash in a way that seems a little bit less sophisticated than the combat system in this game, but I have not played those games, so I might be talking out of my arse. Excuse me if I am. But really cool game, really cool fight sequences because there's counters involved, blocks. You can take weapons off of enemies, throw weapons back at them. You know, at the end of the game, right at the end of the game, Batman is given a sword, a samurai sword. And you just, why does he not have access to this earlier in the game? Maybe he has access to it in New Game Plus. This is something, I don't know yet, this is something that is unlocked when you finish it. New Game Plus, it says that it's got more sophisticated enemy patterns, formations, they're harder basically. And you start the game with all your gadgets and abilities unlocked from the start, which is cool. The game has this progression of getting XP from battles and putting them towards upgrades for armor, like I said, abilities and gadgets, and there's a lot of different cool stuff in there, lots of toys that are fun to use, and they come in handy on side missions as well that specifically need certain gadgets. It comes in handy for just searching the area for, you know, secrets and Easter eggs and things like that. For the completist, this game is a must. There's lots of cool stuff to do even after you finish the story mode, which is satisfying. There's a lot of other stuff to do as well if you want to be 100% completist about it. I don't think I will actually go back and 100% it. I'm not really that kind of player most of the time, but I really enjoyed the storyline. It was really cool. It's left on what seems to be a bit of an obvious cliffhanger. Batman doesn't get cured. Most of the game, if not the whole game, if I remember correctly, is concerned with Batman needing to find this cure for a disease that he's been implanted with, and that the Joker has as well. Their fates seem linked, as they always have done in this kind of Shakespearean fashion. You know, the enemy and the hero needing each other to define each other's existence. Batman has ethics. He is an ethical superhero. He will not kill. This is explicitly said at some points in the game, in the game's narrative, and yeah, that gives it an interesting twist. He never kills anyone in this game. It's always, you know, putting people out of commission, unconscious, the rest of it. But even when it comes to Joker himself, he wouldn't have pulled the final trigger, so to speak. But so it's a game with a little bit of it's deep. It's deep, man. It's deep. Yeah, but really cool game. Graphics are amazing, really atmospheric. The sound is awesome. You know, that spooky kind of Batman music that you would hope for is there. The sound effects in general, the chatter of enemies is great. Really atmospheric as you're skulking around these locations from set piece to set piece. The set pieces are good. They'll typically be set up in a enclosed area, relatively enclosed area, where you take on a group of enemies. And yeah, there's lots of different variety in how you take on those set pieces. Lots of different skills you can use. tactics you can use, places to hide, scenery to use to your advantage. It really feels very kind of open the way you can approach each encounter with these groups of enemies, and that gives it a really good individual flavour to it. You feel like you have options, and that's always good. Yeah, this open world sandbox Batman game, they've really done Batman justice. Really, really cool. What else can be said about it that you don't know already? Yeah, just it's a great game. I'm not going to rattle on too long because this video series is not really about, you know, full-on deep reviews. It's just about cracking on with trying to get through this list of uncompleted games that I need to get through. So the next one that I'm going to get to is something completely different. I fancy a complete change from your 3D open world adventure, which I really did enjoy, but I'm going to go back to Rayman Origins. Now I think I'm pretty far in this game. I don't think there's too much left for me to do, so the next video in this series shouldn't be too far off. But Rayman Origins will be the next one on the list. So Arkham City finally finished. Cannot recommend it highly enough. Seriously need to pick that up if you have any interest at all in video games ever. I mean, come on, if you've ever picked up a controller. No, but seriously, it's a good game. It's a good game. Apparently the next game after that, Batman Arkham Origins, apparently that's not quite as good, but I mean, if it's even in the same ballpark, I'm sure I'm going to enjoy it. Yeah, that was a cool game. So onwards and upwards. See you guys in the next video. Bye bye.